Hey folks, I'm back with another testing video. In this video I'm going to take a number of small DC motors and I'm going to see how far I can push them voltage wise, as well as to see how high of an RPM reading I can get off of them. I'm kind of hoping some of these will hit like maybe possibly 60, 70,000 RPM before they either explode or burn out, or maybe do both. But so starting at the smallest, this is not sure what this is out of, maybe an RC car. You got these little guys here, probably out of adding machines or something. You got a nice little set of these ones that are either out of RC cars or trucks or things like that. These little round ones, there's a few different brands. Most of them are either out of like, well, I think all of them are out of CD drives, DVD drives, writers, things like that, or DVD players, anything like that. Probably that one there too. Those would be like out of more RC vehicles. That one as well. This one's probably out of something like a VCR or something like that. No idea what the hell that one's out of. That's out of VCR, another VCR, and these ones here are probably out of hair dryers or something of that nature. This one here was an odd one. I pulled this out of Hot Wheels car launcher. Like, it had two big plastic discs with like foam on the outer edge of it, and they both spun at the same speed by a gear drive, and this drove them both, and he put the car through it and it would launch it. And geez, I've had this motor for probably 25 years, so I'm finally going to put it to a good purpose and see what it can do. This one's an electric motor for a car, power a window in a car. It drives, like your side windows, it drives up and down. These two here are probably out of like battery powered, like a dustbuster. Something you charge up, and if you just make a little mess or need to clean out some pet hair or something, one of these would be in like one of those things. So, like I say, I'm going to test each one of these motors and push them to their maximum possible RPM. And I'm going to push it until they burn out. So these motors are doomed. I just want to point out that all these motors, like what you see here is nothing. I've got like 200 or 300 little DC motors. So these few can be put, to a good use and be sacrificed. Not only that, all these motors, they either have bad bearings or they're noisy. They're at the end of their life. So, better in my hands than someone else's, so I can actually do some testing and see what they're actually capable of doing. But and I'll do each one individually and use my non-contact tachometer, and we'll see what kind of readings I can get out of it. Alright, I'm set up now. I'm going to start with the smallest motors first and work my way up to the larger ones. I'm going to gradually increase the voltage using my 10 amp Variac and see how far I can push these little motors. This is the volts going into the motor, and this is the amps the motor's drawing, in DC of course. And I've swapped out the capacitor I had with this beast here, 300 microfarads, 525 volts DC. Should provide a little bit better filtering and perhaps reduce arcing on the brushes some, maybe giving me a little bit more speed. I don't know. So here we go. Smallest up first. I should point out that all these motors have different voltage ratings. Some might be 3 volts, some might be 9, some are 12, some might be 18. Wow, 35,000 so far. Aw, oh, come on. That must be the brushes. They don't sound very happy. Oh wow. 48,000, oh my god. 50! Ooh, she's cooking a bit. 58. Holy crap. 58,000. Shit, man. And that's just the first one. What can the rest of them do? Damn. Alright, up for the next one. Alright, next one set up. It's just a slightly longer one than this first one I just burned out. Can it do a high RPM? I don't know. $40,000. Oh. I guess that's a no. But it did get up to an impressive rate. See, it says 46,000 there. It might have been a little bit higher. But so far these motors are being quite impressive. Alright, next up we got a little batch of these little fellas. Just standard 3 volt or 6 volt motors of like RC cars. We'll see how far I can push each one of them. Now 26,000 at only 12 volts. That's pretty good. Oh, brushes aren't happy. And that's all she wrote. Not bad. Alright, here's the next one. Now this one's not doing nearly as good as that last one. Either this is just a bad motor or that first one was a fluke. It is not happy. Ah. Not happy at all. Alright, another one of those little RC motors. This one seems to be doing better than the last one. Right, I had to reseat that one. I basically just got these motors stuck in some putty, and it was moving around. It was making this here have a bad time getting a good reflection. Let's try this again. Oh, that one's shooting flames out there. Huh. Well, that one didn't really get all that far. Oh well. I got more. Alright, well here's the last of these little ones. Oh, this is a good one. 30,000 at 8 volts. Wow. Come on, baby, don't die yet. No! It was almost up to 50. Oh well. On to the next one. Alright, here's one of the little round ones. No, it's not sounding very good. Aw. That one didn't get very high. Oh well. Alright, up next are a bunch of these little ones. I got 3 of them. These would also be like out of RC cars and little things like that. Aw. That gun got up to a decent speed. See if this one does any better. Come on. Come on, you can do better than that. Well, that one sucked. Alright, here's the last of these ones. Alright, this one's doing pretty good. Oh, it was almost at 50. Oh shit. Oh well. Alright, these ones are all up next. These ones are rated for higher voltage, most likely 12, because they're out of like CD players and whatnot. So they might be able to handle a little bit more. Wow. The thing actually came off. Oh my god. Which makes me wonder if this actually... This has got a little bit of metal on it, so it's got a little bit of weight to it. I wonder if the motor actually locked up or seized up and this just decided to keep going. That was pretty cool. Alright, let's try this with a different one. And the last one did indeed lock up. I could not turn the shaft by hand. And that's why the pulley flew off. This one's doing pretty good. 42,000. 45. Come on. Damn, that was almost up to 50. Alright, here's the next one. Yeah, it does it. Oh. Didn't want to go for a minute there. Wow, another one locked up. And the pulley's still going. Oh my god. Okay, next one. And that's the end of that one. Some of these are kind of shitty. They don't really last very long. Alright, you ready to go again? This one's a little better. Oh, this one's really not happy. Well, that's the end of that one. I think that one took the longest time to die. Alright, we'll see if this one can do any better. There it goes. Starting to die already. Well, that one's done. Well, this is the last of this little batch. Wow, that was short-lived. 25,000. Alright, next up is this one here. Alright, here we go. This one's not happy. Wow, quite a little light show coming out of that. But she did. Almost forgot this little one. Alright, away we go. Wow. Come on, give me a reading here. The problem is with this clay or Play-Doh stuff, the motors keep freaking moving. There we go. Wow, 57. 61? Holy shit. $70,000? Oh my god. Oh, holy crap. That was insane. 70,000. Man, oh man. I wasn't expecting that to get anywhere near that. Okay, so it turns out this motor didn't actually die. What happened is the alligator clips touched the metal frame, the motor, and it blew the 10 amp fuse in my multimeter. My multimeter is fine, but you won't get an amp reading off it. So I'm going to try and get this thing over 70,000. See what it can really do. As long as the tachometer cooperates and keeps reading it. Wow, 72, and it came off again. So this little motor may actually still be alive. What happened is one of the terminals came out of the back. So I'm going to save this one for very last, and I'm going to solder some wires directly onto it and give it a go. Alright, this motor's in piss poor shape, so I don't expect very much out of it. And that's all she wrote. This one's got a little capacitor on the back of it. Maybe we'll see a few boom booms. I also expect this one to do better. And I'm not sure what that little capacitor is actually rated for voltage. Nope, that doesn't sound very good. It's actually still going. And that cap hasn't blown up yet. Interesting. Jeez. Well, I think that's the end of that one. Well, there's something wrong with this one. It won't even go, so I'm just going to skip it. Next one will be this fella here. Alright, here we go. It's one unhappy motor, I'll tell you that much. Not quite sure how it's still going, but... And that's the end of it. Wow, that was pretty damn good. Not fast for RPMs, but a good show. Alright, next we got 4 of these ones, including that one there. These ones are mostly out of hair dryers and small dust busters, or like battery vacs and stuff like that. And these are all rated at 12 volts DC. And I'm not using the other multimeter to measure the DC amps, because there's a good chance these little motors, if they short, will go over 10 amps and they'll pop the fuse in my meter. So instead, I'm measuring the 100, the AC line going into the rectifier and capacitor. So we'll get amperage off the line side. We'll see how far these can go. See if they'll reach 50, 60,000, maybe even 70. So there's 12 volts, 24,000. So that's off to a good start. Oh, it's not happy. Wow, nice. I saw a peak of about 11 amps there very briefly, so there's a good chance that would have popped the fuse, the 10 amp fuse in these. Alright, got the next one. So the bearings are a bit loud on this one. So there's 12 volts, only 13,000 RPMs. Now we already got sparking occurring at only 30 volts, 32,000. This ain't gonna last. not happy at all. Oh, I just heard a brush fly out of it. Yeah, not very high RPM, but a good little show on that one. Alright, here's the next one. So 12 volts, not even 10,000 RPMs. I'm starting to not have very high hopes for these style of motors. Holy shit. Wow. That was cool. Alright, and this is the last one. It's a little bit longer. Now the other three had very fine wire, like 16 or 18 gauge. You know, meant for 12 volts, not very high amps. This last one here, it's got like, I don't know, it must be like 16 gauge or maybe even 14 gauge. It's much thicker wire, meant for more amps at a lower voltage. So will that help? I don't know. But the amps going in is definitely going to be a lot higher. The 2 volts were already at 2.2 amps, 15,000 RPM. So this motor would not be rated for 12 volts. This one's probably rated for about 6. So 6 volts, 2.2 amps, 28,000 RPMs. Let's see what it can really do. The amps are going up, but the RPMs are not. And it's not happy. And that's the end of that one. Alright, the next one is the motor from an electric window in a car. So this would be rated at 12 volts. But its RPM would not be very high. Just a lot of torque. So there's 12 volts. Doesn't even sound good. About 13 volts. So about, let's say about 5,000 RPMs, 12.5 volts. And it's drawn more than the other one did. So this motor's actually not that happy. The amperage is all over the place. So 2 amps. 3. Jesus. Let's get a little bit more. So 10,000 RPMs at 24 volts. Seems to have set it down though. Now my meter is once act up and not get a good reading. Oh, there we go. Wow, 55 volts. And I don't think this is getting a good reading again. Wow! Holy shit! The pulley fell off. Alright, last two are larger versions of like Dustbuster motors. So the last batch for those, so here's your comparison. It's substantially larger, and I don't know if you can see in there, but the windings are quite beefy, which brings some amperage with it, but also usually means it brings some speed. Kind of speed? I don't know. We'll find out. So look, right off the bat, 1 volt's 4.7 amps. Now my Variac's only 10 amps, so I don't know how far I can actually push these. Hopefully the amps won't go over 10. Alright, so that wasn't going to work, so I've gone in favor of lower voltage for more amps. So I've hooked up my 500 volt amp transformer, stepping it down to 24 volts. So I'll only be able to max it, say, with my Variac at maxed out, which is about 140 volts. I probably could get 30 out of the transformer. But 30 might be enough to to kill these motors and max out their RPM. So as an example, so here we got 2.5 volts, a little over 4 amps going to the motor. But if I go over to the transformer, pan up so you can see that, I'm not even drawing a single amp yet. 0.8, 0.87. So there's an amp off the transformer, and the motor 4.7. So let's give this another shot. Make sure this is reading it right. It's only 3 volts, and it's not dead yet, so this is perfectly safe touching this. It's not a dead motor. Just gotta line this up just right. Alright, let's try this again. The tachometer was acting up, and I think I've got it dialed in. So here we go. Or not. Here we go. It's not happy. Wow. She locked up and drew locked rotor. That was at the 28 amps for a second there. And that was only at about 12 volts. 16 peaking, but 12 when it was actually running normally. Damn. Okay, so I almost forgot about that little one I was going to solder wires onto and try again. I almost forgot it. But, so here it is. Some wire solder on. Hopefully they won't come off. And hopefully we'll get over like whatever it was before, like 75,000 or something. Assuming the tachometer doesn't have a fit again. Come on, baby. Well, it did go over 70, but oh well, that's still freakingly fast. Okay, so I've opened up 4 of the motors, and I'll show you actually what's happened. So this is one of these little CD drive ones. Your brushes look pretty good, but what's happened, I'll just take this big needle here. You can see here part of your, I guess, ring connector for the commutator and the where the wires probably get soldered onto. It looks like a piece of it is gone. I don't know. Oh, look, there's a piece of it right there. So that's what's failed in that one. And then we got this little guy here. This one actually doesn't look too bad. It's got some scorch marks in here, right there. But, I mean, the brushes are intact and it looks like all the wires are intact. This motor may actually run again if I cleaned it up. But that's the best out of the 4 that I opened. And the last 2 are a lot worse. So this is this one here, and look at that. There's no brush left. And look inside here. That is completely black. Let's see if I can pull it out. There's bits of metal down in there. Oh yeah, it's moving around. There was wire wrapped around here. Look at that. 3 strands, 4 strands. There's another one there. So we got 4 strands of wire that were wrapped around the back of the shaft. Wow, a few of the segments are actually gone. So that must be what these are right here. Wow, they're so hot they're actually embedded right in the plastic. I can't free those. And including your brush as well. That's definitely one of the worst ones I've ever seen. And last of not least is the one from the car window. And you know, if you take a motor apart and you see pieces of windings sitting in the bottom here, you know it's not good. Yeah, that is definitely not good. I don't know if I can actually pop this out of here. There we go. Well, this one's actually got spring-loaded brushes, which is kind of nice. And they actually look like they're pretty well intact. However, this bit, oh yeah, there's no coming back from that. Well, although I suppose you could figure out which wire went where, and you could solder it back on, but this motor's been worn quite a bit. Look how deep the engrave is on that. That is deep. That is very worn away. I've never seen one so bad in my entire life. And I've seen some old vacuum motors that had some wear, but this takes the cake. So yeah, that does it for the DC motor speed test. thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to hit that like button if you liked what you saw. Subscribe if you want to see more, and see you next time.